So in this slide, we see some of the common properties of a Windows form displayed in the properties window. The two most important ones, important because students tend to confuse between these two, are the text property, sorry, text property and the name property. So what is the difference between this and that? So the text property is what you want to be shown right here at the title section of your form. This is the form which you start out with and which you design in Visual Basic. So whatever you want to name this, like greetings, welcome, whatever you say it here. And the name property is where you define its purpose. And that's not it does not it's not displayed anywhere in the form itself, but it will show up in the solution explorer and like um, in the design it's going to be its name so that you identify what is the purpose of this form. So you can say this is like the main form, or this is like some attribute form, something like that. And we generally follow some sort of um, notation for naming these forms. The most popular one and which we are going to use is called the Pascal case. So suppose you want it to be named main form, so there won't be any space between main and form, and you'll capitalize each word, each first letter of each word in the name. So main M is going to be capitalized and F in form is going to be capitalized. That's called the Pascal case. Some other important properties are the start position property, and basically it tells the program where exactly this form will appear. Will it appear in the center or somewhere else? That's defined here. You define the font of the main font of the form here, its style, its size, if whether it's bold or italic or whatever. Here it's you define the point, you define the size, and that's about most of the common properties we care of care about a form. So let's see the properties. See here the name, font. Wait, no, I don't want to. This is font, and once we go here, you see the start position is at default. You can change it to something else given here, or maybe you can make it manual. Um, and then I missed something, I think. Yeah, size, location. You can put a coordinate here, and see here is the text. So just to show you, if I change this to XXX, it becomes XXS. Let me go change it to form 1 again. So back to our slide. So now we move on to the Windows Form Designer window. So basically, this part is the form designer, and it allows you to design your interface, design the your form, how it looks like. And it's generally called a GUI, or graphical user interface. It's basically what the user sees and interacts when using the application. And as you can see, it contains a title bar. This whole thing is the form object. This is like the basic initial version where you start off with, and then you put in stuff like buttons, checkboxes, list boxes, stuff like that into this form right here. And if you're using the Visual Basic GUI, this is where the disk file name is along with its purpose. Like here is for design, you can change it to something else. So basically, the title bar with minimize, maximize, and close options. So again, going back to the actual thing, see it's pretty similar. Minimize, maximize, close, form name, stuff like that. So now the toolbox window. The toolbox basically is what it signifies, what its name signifies. It contains objects that can be added to other objects such as the form. It has a lot of tools like buttons, checkboxes, list, but whatever I mentioned before. And each tool basically represents a class. So you start off with a button class, you drop it into your form, and then you change it to whatever you like. So basically, the toolboxes contains all the patterns of the objects you want to put in your own form. And controls are basically what you want to do, what how you want to interact with an object. And so let's go to see here the next slide. You see a snapshot of the toolbox with different controls in it. These basically represent a class or a blueprint of each type of object, like checkboxes, buttons, pointers, list box. There are various tools and controls here. So going back to our GUI, once we open the toolbox, you see all the common controls, a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff you can design. So that's basically the use of the toolbox. Just wanted to show you right now how it looks like. We'll go into actually using these tools to create our application here, just not right now. I need to discuss some other things before going into this.